Howdy, friend. Sam Houston here, hoping you're living in high cotton. And if you're lucky enough to be in Texas, I know you're most of the way there. Now enjoy your daily dose of Texas history and Texas pride.
Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas history roundup for the darkest of dark days as part of the United States, April 15th, which typically is tax day, where they steal your life because they're stealing the money that you spent, your most precious resource, which is your life, your time, the money that you spent, your time that you'll never get back to earn, where the federal government steals it from you to blow on God knows what, no telling what boondoggles, what's stolen, what's corrupt, and not to mention all the idiotic wars being fought typically in your name and my name all across the world at any number of, any moment. So that's why I call April 15th a very dark day. In 1825, Green DeWitt, with the support of Stephen F. Austin and the Baron de Bastrop, was successful in obtaining an impresario contract to settle 400 Anglo-American families on the Guadalupe River adjacent to Austin's colony. His petition originally specified industrious Catholic families and an equally respectable families of Mexican nationals, but was later modified. DeWitt's colony was moderate in its politics, sympathetic with Austin's colony, and initially loyal to Mexico, but fully supported the Texas independence cause in 1836. In 1825, Robert Leftwich's impresario contract was granted. This effort began in 1822 when the Texas Association of Tennessee requested the government of Mexico for permission to settle 800 families in Texas. The contract permitted the association to settle the families within an area of about 100 by 200 miles adjacent to Austin's colony. Leftwich sold the contract to the Texas Association in August 1825, and in 1830, Sterling C. Robertson, an association member and agent, began recruiting families. But the law of April 6, 1830 interfered, so he began settling colonists in Austin's colony. After legal wrangling, the grant was eventually approved, and Robertson was recognized for bringing 600 families to the area that became known as Robertson's Colony. And more, in 1831, Green DeWitt's impresario contract, obtained 6 years earlier, which we just talked about, expired without him being able to fulfill its requirements. While in Monclova, seeking another grant, DeWitt died in 1835, probably of cholera, and he was buried there in an unmarked grave. In 1836, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, with about 700 troopers, arrived at Harrisburg, only to find the rebel government had fled on the steamship Flash towards New Washington, which is Morgan's Point, a few hours earlier. This same day, after a short 3-mile march from Gochi's Landing, the main Texan force camped at Charles Donahoe's plantation, waiting for Captain Mosley Baker's and Captain Wiley Martin's outposts to join them. Donahoe favored Mexico and complained about the Texans camping on his land and cutting his timber. Supposedly, General Sam Houston hinted that, rather than cutting timber for firewood, his troops should use Donahoe's rail fences, which they did. In 1836, around this midpoint in April, there were many recollections from diaries of those fleeing during the runaway scrape. DeLue Rose remembered that when her family reached Lynch's Ferry on the San Jacinto River, at least 5,000 people were waiting to cross. She spent her 11th birthday as a fugitive, comforting her mother after her little sister died. At the Trinity River, William Fairfax Gray reported that there were a great many fugitives. The wagons and tents looked like the encampment of an army. It took him 4 hours to cross, and he finally made his horses swim. John T. Mason wrote from Nacogdoches to Brigadier General Edmund P. Gaines of the U.S. Army, who was watching from Louisiana, quote, "The road from Nacogdoches to the Sabine is one unbroken line of women and children, on foot with nothing but the clothes on their backs." And in 1984, golfer Ben Crenshaw won his first Masters tournament. Crenshaw was born in Austin in 1952. He and teammate Tom Kite led UT Austin to NCAA titles in 1971 and 72, with Crenshaw being the individual champion in 1971 and 73, and sharing the 72 crown with Kite. As a golf professional, Crenshaw won 19 tour titles, including 2 Masters. He played on 4 Ryder Cup teams and captained the victorious 99 team. The USGA gave Crenshaw its highest honor in 1992, the Bob Jones Award. Crenshaw is also a member of the World Golf Hall of Fame. And that, my friend, was your Texas History Roundup for April 15th. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.
Well, there you have it. If you like our podcast, check us out at feedbandit.com. There you'll find awesome Texas First outdoors gear and apparel. Your purchase helps support the Bandits and keeps this podcast on the air, fighting for you and for Texas. Remember, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Until next time.